Hello, this is Miss Libby, and in this video I'm going to do the brainstorming for my 5-paragraph essay as a model for students that are in my classes, just so you have an idea of what this looks like to complete the brainstorming activity. Okay, so I'm going to do mine on Montana. Why Montana? Well, that's because I'm not going to let you choose this as a topic since it's our lovely state. It's where I'm from. Okay, so our first slide. We need to have a thesis statement or a main idea. So that's where we're starting. And my main idea is something like Montana is a wonderful place to visit. I might change that a little bit as I figure out what my support is, but that's where I'm going to start with. It's Montana, right? That's where we're starting. Okay. My star support, probably one of my best ideas is going to be that it is beautiful scenery, and it's very diverse, but we'll go with just beautiful scenery for now to be sort of brief. And another support would be the farming and ranching economy. We'll talk a little about that. And the third thing I would talk about, I think I would go with diversity. So there's a very diverse population. So now I might have ideas on my own, or I might do some research at this point. It's not a bad idea to do some research, but since I know a little bit about Montana, I would start here. We have the Rocky Mountains, so we would definitely want to make a sentence about them. We have Yellowstone Park, so we'll put Yellowstone Park here. And then another one that we have that's pretty big is Glacier National Park. And then close to our home, let's go with the Little Bighorn battlefield. Lots of cool history there. Okay, so our next main idea, farming and ranching economy. And you know, farming and ranching might be important to me, but maybe we just want to go with the economy and talk about Montana's economy. So right here is where I'd probably do a little research. Research something like the economy in Montana. So, Britannica, that might be okay. Montana economic trends, stats, and rankings, that might be all right. So, each of these might be interesting to read, and so I might look through them really quick before I hop back on the video. So one of the facts that I found that I liked about the economy is that our unemployment rate in Montana is at 2.4%, which is actually tied for 7th in the United States for 2023. So that's pretty good. Out of 50, we're number 7, which means that most people who want a job have a job. So that's pretty good. A little bit of discrepancy here, though. It shows 2.4 in June 2023, but this over here says 2.3. Oh, because it's May. Okay, so just a different month. 2.3, 2.4. Either one would be okay. So we'll type that in. Low unemployment of 2.3%. And then I probably am going to want to keep track of this site I used, right? So I'm just going to copy that URL, and maybe I'll just add another slide in here. Sure, it doesn't really matter, just so I can keep it for later. And this, we did unemployment. So I'll just keep a note on that so I know where I need to cite it in text, right? I think this is also interesting. Montana's share of the U.S. economy was 0.2%. So if you think about there being 50 states, if it was split equally, each state would get 2%, but we're way lower than that. our economy does not really drive the nation's economy at only 0.2%. So I'm going to mention that. And in my opinion, if it's hard to paraphrase something, I would just totally take the entire little chunk of information. We can direct quote it, right? So just like that. And now we can just make ourselves a note that we have this direct quote that we'll need to give the in-text citation. I found this other article from montana.gov, and it's sort of recent, but a little bit older than the last information. And it said that Montana's economy grew an inflation-adjusted 6.7% in 2001, which is the 7th largest rate of growth in the country. I want to take that. Again, I'm just going to take the entire little chunk of information as a direct quote. So I think that's pretty cool. That's a great number coming out of COVID, right? And we'll need to add this site to our list. And because this was for growth rate 2021. So that was pretty cool, and it said Montanans' personal income grew by 8.5% in 2021, the fastest increase in 15 years. That 8.5% is a big deal because with the way inflation has been impacting us all around the country, we really need that high rate of growth in personal income to sort of counteract the high cost of goods increases from inflation. So I want to do that too. Montana's personal income grew by 8.5%. And so then I'll just make a note here, growth rate, and then also personal income growth. We need to cite those. Okay, so we have lots of stuff now about our economy in Montana. And then let's just talk about the diversity. And there's another spot again that I might want to research for some statistics. So as far as diversity goes, we have 87% that are white, and then 6% Native American is the next biggest group. 2 or more races, 4.49. I did see on another site that Hispanic was just under 4%, so they're probably included a lot in this 2 or more. So you can see not very many African Americans or Black people or Asians, but pretty large group of Native Americans from our great state. So we can mention that. So something like 87% white, 6% Native American, and that'll give us some information on diversity. Here's another interesting statistics. 70% about almost own their homes in Montana, while about 30 or 69-31 is really the split for owning versus renting. So you could say something like around 70% own homes while 30% rent. That would be a one way that people are diverse from one another. Here's some gender diversity. The average male makes $45,000 while the average female makes $32,000 a year. So we could probably mention that. So in earnings, males make more. So there still might be some gender bias. What was it, 45K versus 32,000? I think. Yeah. And now that I got what I wanted from the source, I just got to remember to keep it, right? And put it over here. Got to keep track of all these sources. And this was for diversity stuff. And I think I have one more bubble, and I really want to figure out what the political diversity is, so I'll search that. I think this is interesting that as far as party affiliation among adults in Montana, about 49% identify as Republican or lean that way. About 30% lean towards the Democrat side, and there's a pretty good chunk, like 21%, who don't really lean either direction, so that might vote either way. So let's see how we can put this into our bubbles. So nearly 50% Republican, 30% Democrat, and 20 neither. Okay, so we can put that in for political diversity. And so now we've got lots of ideas here as far as Montana. So the next step will be taking all of these ideas and moving on through our slides presentation to outlining our paragraphs. So we'll start with all of this, outlining each of these paragraphs, based on how they link with the green and the yellow and the red straight out of here. Okay, so we'll do that on the next video. That's enough for this one.